Hello and welcome to Talking Wanderers, where we'll be reviewing the excellent Bolton performance at Aston Villa and looking ahead to the game at the Emirates on Saturday against Arsenal. With me today are Gordon Sharrock and our Wanderers correspondent, Mark Isles. So Mark and Gordon, a great result against Aston Villa. What's happened in 3 days to turn it around, and is it all optimism now at the Reebok?
I think you've got to be even-handed with it, haven't you? It's only one result, and it's in the cup. But I think the performance from the fringe players, so often we've come into cup games and Coyle's tried to change it round and come off and thought, a few players have missed out on their chance. But I think this time, for once, everybody really did grab hold of it, and he's got some serious selection dilemmas now for the weekend. And it was a cracking result, really excellent tempo to the game, some lovely football being played. Obviously, Stuart Holden coming back into the team was a massive thing, and you only realise how important he is to the team once you saw what he was doing out there. And I've got no doubt that was a big thing. But I think a few fringe players had their best game in years, and he really has got a couple of choices now.
I think that a great gauge of how good a performance it was by those fringe players and by the team in general is the fact that Alex McLeish made no secret of the fact that he wanted to emulate what he did last season with Birmingham. He picked a strong side, and had he not had 2 or 3 injuries, he'd have probably picked his strongest side. So I think that you judge it against that, away from home against a Premier League side which had a very strong team out, and I think that is it's not 3 points, and you would want 3 points at the moment, but at the same time it's not a bad indicator.
But doesn't it, as you alluded to, Mark, does it not then make it important that he picks at least a few of those players then against Arsenal, because surely those players will want their performance to speak for themselves, won't they?
I think you're right. I mean, the one thing you get all the time from the players, the fringe players, when you speak to them, is that Owen Coyle says, if you take your chance, you'll get rewarded. And I think David Wheater was one of the ones we spoke to last night, and he came out and said exactly that. And he played well enough, and there's been enough sort of question marks maybe over the defence, the back four. I mean, they have been all over the pitch really for maybe Owen Coyle to look at his side and say, maybe I do go with 4 or 5 of them on Saturday. He's not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater and make huge sweeping changes and for the sake of it as such. But I think there's a good handful there that have given themselves a real good chance.
And I don't think that, judging by what we've seen in the past few weeks, I don't really think that anybody could complain if they were dragged out and they paid the penalty and somebody else had done better to get hold of the shirt.
Was there an interesting tactical switch, do you think? Owen Coyle, normally a 4-4-2 man, appears to have gone 4-5-1 at Aston Villa. Is there anything significant in that, do you think? Or is it just playing away from home?
Well, I said that to him after the game, and he said, it's something that, he held his hands up. It's not something he's tried here particularly. He's changed during games occasionally, but not from the start, and it was very evident right from the off that he was trying something different with Ngo as the low man up front, Kakuta and Eagles coming in from wide, and it really worked. And if that's going to be the blueprint now for away games, then all power to his elbow, because it really did seem to work at Villa Park. And he's got players now, he's got a squad. There's no reason why he can't be flexible with it. That's the thing.
And we did have this hint in pre-season that he might be looking along these lines, didn't we? We'd seen 1 or 2 shapes in pre-season that were suggesting that maybe we could have in certain away games this 4-5-1 formation, and I think that's what he's indicated last night, that he's not only prepared to do, but that he's prepared to see through and get a result from.
But also, a game against Arsenal no longer is as daunting, or so it appears, as it once was. But after being turned over 4-3 by Blackburn, you'd have thought, well, hang on a minute, maybe it's not such a bad time to play Arsenal after all,
Yeah, I'd like to think there is a good time to play Arsenal at the Emirates. Maybe this is it, but let's not get too carried away. I mean, they're still a very, very good side, and they have underachieved, so it's we're going to a place where we have struggled in the past.
I don't think they've ever won there. Actually, I'll stand corrected, but I've seen some massacres there. But I don't think anybody can argue that Arsenal at the minute are struggling for confidence. And if Wanderers hit as early as they did against Aston Villa and knock them on the heels as really such a quick tempo straight from the off, it could be very interesting on Saturday.
I'd like to think that you could get the best part of a 60,000 Emirates crowd turning against the team. You know, I mean, they're fantastic when they're behind them, but if they were against them, you know, that is an opportunity to, you know, to cash in. And like Mark says, if they do get something early on, you know, you could probably see it getting a bit anxious there, and Arsene continuing to play the football, not changing it, not changing his style or anything, and you know, you could get at them. But you know, Bolton will certainly be going there with a lot more confidence than they had before last night's win.
So fingers crossed for Saturday, and thank you, Mark and Gordon. Cheers. Thank you for logging on to Talking Wanderers. Join us next week when we'll be reviewing the game against Arsenal.